Hey there. So my next guest is the partnership person in charge of getting sponsorships for an esports team. However, it's an esports team out of South America, so that he has a very different perspective than some of the other people I've brought on the show, because esports is still a little bit newer down there. They're still figuring things out. So he kind of walks us through it, and he gives us his perspective and kind of compares it to other people he's talked to in other areas. So this was a fantastic interview. I know you all are going to love it. Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the Gamerpreneur podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Bradford Carlton. Today, I have a very special guest for you. I have Chico Tattini. Hey there, Chico. How's it going?
Fine, thanks, mate. And you?
It's a beautiful sunny day in Las Vegas. How about yourself?
Oh, not that beautiful. As Las Vegas in São Paulo, it's rainy, but I'm fine with that.
Oh, it's a beautiful part of the world, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's hot, but it's beautiful.
I'm sure. All right, Chico. So I like getting the show started just right into it. So why don't you begin by just telling us a little bit about yourself, please?
Okay. I'm Chico Tattini. I'm the head of partnerships at INTZ, the most intrepid club in the world. But I'm also known as the Big Uncle. At first, because of my age, I'm 41, but I like to think that it's always because I take care of the athletes and the streamers and the staff as my own nephews with all the tenderness and respect they deserve without focusing so much on the discipline. That's what managers are made for, you know?
Certainly.
That's something about me.
Beautiful. All right. So I'm going to ask you a question. I ask every single one of my guests this question, so
Okay.
don't feel special, but this is like how I like to start the show.
Okay.
All right. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being high, how weird are you?
Above average, for sure.
And what does that mean and why?
Yeah, I mean, sales job, any sales jobs are already schizophrenic on its own, you know. But since I read the In Praise of Folly by Erasmus, it's a very old book, I like to consider myself weird, as much weirder as I can. There's some phrase I serped that I like, that is like a motto of life for me. Uh, it's so much motto of life that I can even quote it. I can send to you now, or I can quote it right now. I mean, I'm always ready for this question. I mean, to quote it, not to this question itself. It says that the how can I say, the crazy people, it's the fool or the crazy, they can say anything they want to say without being offended anyone, princes and kings, because it's so much in a humble way that people, it's okay to listening without questioning so much, and listening in a very open mind way, not like some when you are in a head council meeting and people are consiglieres of thing. It's more like the full saying instead of the consigliere. I don't know if you can get the sense of it, but I like so much this phrase and this book itself that I like to be weird, you know, in a good way, not a psychological mental illness thing, but I like to go to that path. It's a path I like it, being weirdo.
Wonderful. No, I love that answer, and I think I understood. Hopefully my audience does as well. All right, Chico. So this is the Gamerpreneur podcast, so I do need your gaming cred. When did you first start playing video games?
Well, I'm from the Atari era, so I start playing Enduro, Pitfall, Donkey Kong when at very early age. Not my console, but from friends, some friends of mine, Yeah, I guess it was 5, 6 years old, not more than that, for
All
sure.
right, wonderful. And I'm assuming you've continued to play video games through the years?
Yes, for sure. But I continue to play it until well, I mean, I used to play FIFA with friends, but I have a rage problem, and I like to say that I never lost for more than 1-0, because if someone scores a goal, I rage it and stop and That's the thing with me. I don't like to lose in anything. So that's it. I don't know. I'm not so somehow a PC player, esports player itself. For example, I like to play some things in mobile, but I'm not that hard. I'm not that hardcore user anymore.
Sure thing. Well, what do you play today, if anything?
Today, I like to play trivia, and I believe it or not, I like to play arcades a lot, pinball a lot. I really love pinball. Really love pinball.
All right, I love it. Now, you've been playing since Atari, and you've had essentially the access to all of the games that have come out since
Yes.
then.
Yes.
What would you say is your number one all-time favorite game of all time?
I don't think I have the number one of all time, but there's every time someone asks me, I remember of Pitfall. I don't know why. I guess this is the game that I'm for most part of my life I was into and thinking about how get to the end of it. I guess Pitfall is my number one game. I mean, in my heart, you know.
Okay, that's fantastic. You keep it old school.
Yeah, I'm old school guy.
All right. Now let's talk on the preneur side of things, on the business
Okay.
side of things. So can you tell us a little bit more about what it is that you do, please?
Yeah, sure. As the head of partnerships, I'm responsible for all of our sponsorships, sponsors, and any partnership INTZ do or intend to do. I mean, if a brand call us to, I would like to know how much for this or that, I'm the responsible guy. I have to take this briefing home, and I'm share with the marketing and creative guys, and then we go back to with the proposal. Most of it, that's what I do. It's not only a part of how can I say? It's not. I'm not only the how can I'm not sure about the expression. I'm more about like a sales guy instead of being some the point of contact for the brands. I'm also the point of contact for the brands inside INTZ, but I'm more active I'm more proactive than passive. I don't know if it makes sense for you, but that's what I do most of the time.
Wonderful. I love it. Okay, now, how did you get that position? Like, what is your professional background? How did you get here?
Okay, that's nice. I started working in Universal Pictures, and I worked there for 6 years. So I started in the entertainment business, working with cinema and home entertainment, VHS is an old thing, but DVDs, and those kind of things. Then I moved to the traditional sports. I have working in the Olympics and FIFA World Cup in Brazil, both of them. And I worked with the Global X Games as well in Foz do Iguaçu. It was a beautiful event. Just when we have the ramps, the guys skating just so close to the falls. It was a beautiful image. So after that, I was invited to an interview in a esports gaming agency, and I mean, well, I'm somehow bored of working with the traditional sports. Let's see. And here I am. I started in this consultancy, and I worked there for 2 years. They have the INTZ account, and INTZ invited me 3 years ago to be the head of partnerships of the club. And here I am, and I can say that I've never been happier working with my work professional side. You know, that's something that is amazing. And I'm 40, and so it was it's a long way to the top, you know. But now I get it, and I'm perfectly fine here.
That's fantastic. Now, like, what is it like working for or with an esports organization as opposed to all these other traditional, businesses?
Much better, because in Brazil, I'm not sure if you know, if your audience knows, but we have a lot in traditional sports. We have a lot of confederations, so it's not only about business itself. It's not only about you want this, I can give you that. You many times you have to go to this. Oh, a better way to explain. Imagine Riot Games or Ubisoft or Garena. If you have to go to them to have a stamp everything you do, you don't have to do a stamp. I'm the club. I'm the owner of my image and those kind of things. Without, of course, without getting to the championships properties. So it's much more a business to business thing than a business to government thing. I don't know if it sounds so much clear for you guys, but for me in Brazil and having to go to the bureaucracy about to do almost anything. Oh man, I'm really happy to be in sports and to do with Riot, Garena, other publishers. Yeah, like it or like them or not, it's not a thing. And now it's the professional way of saying it's much better.
Beautiful. Okay, so Chico, I've had esports team owners on here. I've had streamers on here. My audience is just incredibly varied and diverse.
Yeah, I like good.
And I want to make this show about advice. I like asking my guests for advice on how, what advice do you have that might be able to help my audience go a little bit further? And sponsorships. So what advice do you have on maybe a team getting sponsorships or an individual streamer getting sponsorships or another organization? What are the common things people need to know?
First of all, to get into esports scene, and I know that in Europe and in US and NA and Asia you are more advanced than us, but and I used to say in Brazil that you need to be good in what you do because it's not more it's not time anymore to go to guys that like gaming. You know what I mean? You need to be a good professional, even more than be a gamer nowadays because we have a lot of good guys playing, working. So it's time for good professionals to work in esports, and even to get esports to the next level. I don't think we are the next big thing. We are already a big thing. But for the next level, we need better guys. I'm not saying that the guys nowadays are bad, but we need to think in a professional way. About the sponsors, about talking to the brands, uh, I really think you need to listen to the brands. It sounds easy to say, but you have to listen, and because many times even the brands don't know what they need, what they want, or how to do that, because they are in a how can I say in a comfort. No, they are on their how can I say the safe space, buying media or buying sponsorship in traditional sports and those kind of things. We are not media. We weren't as well on traditional sports. We are in the middle of it. You know, some people say about sports entertainment. I like this word. I like this word to be because it makes a mess in everybody's head. You know what is it, and thinking what is it is good because we are not one and not another. We can do better than both, but if you don't do it right, we will be in a terrible situation. You know because you think the brands are expecting something. You know I don't know what's the KPI, but it's expecting something if you treat them without listening carefully and getting what's this KPI, you may try to do your business with their consent, with their briefing, but not getting the KPI. So you need to listen them and try to be a partner of it. I mean, at the bottom they are sponsors for sure, but they need to be, but the people there need to be your partners, so the brand can be a sponsor.
Wonderful.
I hope I
No,
helped.
that was perfect. Thank you so much. Let's go a little deeper if we can. You mentioned KPIs. What types of KPIs are brands normally looking for? What are the KPIs that you're fairly confident you can deliver? What are the things that people aren't even talking about?
Well, let's go. For example, you can be a worldwide famous brand, but don't have a very good results in esports. So you have to be attentive for what kind of KPI they are looking for, because if they are looking for to be, how can I say, to be close, or to be known for their winner side of the winner side of things, you need to be aware of it. Because they will ask, well, but why we were out of the XXX league? Why are we getting so bad? So I mean, that's the thing. That's the beautiful of sport. This is sport entertainment. because here you have to work with the lifestyle of it. I like to say that from the KPI point of view, I guess it's better to compare with the how can I say action sports, surf, skate, those kind of sports, instead of comparing to football, because it's a lifestyle thing. People play games because they want to play games. It's their lifestyle. You know, any skater, uh, he will compete in a skate session and go home skating. That's the thing. That's a corporation. So that's why I'm saying about KPIs. We can have a huge media KPIs, and we can give them. Did you knew about the streamer with 2.7 million viewers, peak viewers, concurrent viewers? I mean, this is a amazing media number. But can you say that he will beat this mark again? I don't know. But no matter how the number is, the guys who are watching him are very kind of him. They can call himself a real influencer, not the influencer, because nowadays the word influencer gets a little mess for me. But these guys are the real influencers. So if you have a live streaming with 15 people, these 15 people are really getting to know your brand. They are really get influenced by your brand, by what the streamer is saying. That's what I think about KPIs, the care we have to take about them.
Fantastic. Okay. Thank you so much for that answer. I really do appreciate that. One more kind of like business question, then we'll talk a little bit more about you personally if we can. What kinds of numbers are you talking about when you talk sponsorships? Are we talking, small dollar or small amounts of money or large amounts of money? Like, is there a range? How does that work?
There's a range for sure, because, for example, in INTZ, we used to say that we have some projects. We don't have the we are not commodity. We are not a commodity. So we have to think in any proposal according to the brand. So we have for example, if we're thinking about our jerseys, just like the camera in that we are here are the best parts of it. You know what I mean? So even the brands, or even the cap. But the thing is, if you are in my back, you have some very, not some, but you have as good as in the front recognition, but different recognition. For example, if you want to be known as a winner brand, the back is very good, because all the time the guys are celebrating. They are embracing themselves, and you see the back of the jersey. So that's one thing. But what we have a lot of partners that they are not on our jerseys, and they are very fine with that, because what they are looking for is for more like. I mean, they've been with us so long that people already know they are with us. So that is good for the short-term promotions. For example, we have some actions on the streamers, YouTube, and all the social media harder than, instead of making them themselves known in our market.
Okay. Now a little bit about you. You've had an incredible career. You've done some amazing things in your past.
Thank you.
What makes you good? What makes you good at what you do now? What special talents do you have, or what skills do you have?
I'm quoting my big boss. Okay, that when we would in our first interview, he says that you make it is so easy for you to me to make contact to connect with people. It's so easy for you that I need someone with this skill here to connect people to the club. And why is that? It's because in partnerships, in this commercial side of things, it's very important that have to have someone who can connect easily with brands, any kind of brand. I mean, for example, if you go to a pharmaceutical brand or automotive brands, probably the guy who we will negotiate doesn't even know about us. About us, I mean esports. So it's important to have someone who connects easy with these guys. And I'm not saying that I'm cool or something like that. To connect is not being cool. To connect is to understand their problems, explain your problems, and make this connection happen. I used to say that to prospect is not the same thing that to connect. Prospect is it's not easy. It's not easy to prospect. It's hard. But to prospect is more a mechanical thing. You can have your a CRM, you can have your tools, but to connect, that requires a special skill. And if they say my boss said that I have, I prefer to believe in my boss that anyone else.
Wonderful. I love it. You're a connector.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you told me you're 40. So if you could go back in time, we could rewind the clock and you could go and meet little Chico way back in the day, maybe when he was 20 years old, and you could tell him everything that's going to happen over the next 20 years of his life, but tell him the one thing that's most important. What is that one thing he has to know?
Uh, Man, that's hard because I know exactly what I should do, but it's somehow a book. You know what I mean? I mean, yeah, yeah. I have my share of bad things I did. You know what I mean? That I when I made mistakes. Uh, but what I'll probably say to Jimmy is that to connect, to keep all the contacts you have. Everybody said to bring them closer to you, because when I was working with the traditional sports, it I wasn't the same way I am today. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to because for example, do you know what is how is badminton?
Yeah,
Yeah. Have you ever played badminton?
I did when I was in high school. Yes.
Yeah, okay, because you were forced to. But the thing is, esports, everybody's playing. The people are talking is playing because they want to play. When I was talking about badminton or judo or other things, it was more a mechanic. I treat them as more as a commodity. That's the thing. To not, I will say to myself to not treat things as commodities. Because what is important to you may be not important to him, and vice versa.
Beautiful. Okay. Now, say somebody wanted your job. They wanted to do the partnerships with an esports organization as well. What advice do you have for somebody in order to get a job like that?
Well, I said it earlier, not so in a deep way, but the thing is, you have to you have to know esports. You have to know that I don't think how you can work in my position, in my like some partnerships, brand managers or whatever you want to call it, without knowing the scenario, because there are so much little things that are so important to them, to the scenario, that if you don't know, you will be not it will be hard not only for selling things, but to delivering things. Because when you go to your marketing teams to say, oh, that's what I sold, they will say, are you crazy? That has nothing to do with our audience, man. That's nothing to do. So you have to know the scenario, but as important as knowing the scenario is to be a good professional, to know the tools you need to use, to know how to follow up things with your partners, and to know that a no is never is not a no, forever no. I mean, people can change in their chairs. So if you say no to me now, but probably Bradford, you're now on Marlboro. I'm saying cigarettes because it's out of our market, but you can be on Camel next day, next year. I don't know. And so if I have a good contact, keep the contact with you, that will be great, and that's what I mean. It's more about, it's a good thing that's going happening nowadays with the pandemic, that the relations are getting more human nowadays. So because everybody's going through the pandemic, so everybody knows how hard it is. So people are getting more sensitive about it. So I think for my kind of position in the sales position, you have to be and you have to like to not only talk, but you have to know how to hear people a lot, because you will hear a lot of bullshit in the sense that people don't know what esports is, not
That's,
because they talk bullshit, but they don't know what it is. So you have to be patient.
you got to be
You
able to
have to
talk,
be
you got to be able
patient.
to listen, and you got to be able to correct. I love it.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, now Chico, you did mention a little while ago that you've made a lot of mistakes. And at this point of the interview, I always like to ask my guests, what do you consider your biggest failure in life, and what did you learn from
Do you know that phrase that do you know when people say that I talk what I want, I talk from my heart?
it? Yeah,
That's dangerous. That's dangerous. Too dangerous. Because you can talk for yourself. You cannot talk for the brand, for your company, or for something like that. You need to measure your words sometime. And I'm not saying to anyone to lie. That's completely different thing. But if you are in a board meeting, and you are pissed off with a guy for something he did, maybe he's not a good character. It doesn't matter, but sometimes you can just shout it in the board meeting. Sometimes it's better to go only with the guy itself and the CEO or something like that. I used to say that, there's no gossip for me here. Everybody must know that, and say some things that are personal for the guy. Uh, and with the best intentions, I had the best intentions at the time to solve it out. A thing that was annoying me, but and I learned that sometimes you have to, it's not to think of him, but because what he was doing was not good, but the way that I tried to solve it was the completely wrong way, and it cost my job. And now I know why it cost my job, but I don't agree with it. But I know why it cost my job. Is that thing? You should blame the game, not the players. You know what I mean?
absolutely.
That
We have an expression here that you have to pick your battles. You
Yeah,
don't,
yes,
you don't,
yes, yes.
despite everything that pops up, you got to choose which
Exactly.
ones to
That's
go.
perfect. Perfect. You
Okay,
have to pick
wonderful.
your battles.
Now, kind of on the flip side, what is something that you're working to improve on in yourself today?
The processes itself, the CRM, the tools that I'm using. As a 40-year-old guys, somehow a freestyle guy, so my team are guys more organized and methodic than me, because they have to, and I'm learning with them all the time to put my, for example, and I said earlier about how important it is to follow up things you do, and I did it. I'm always doing that, but doing it for as a professional, you have to do in a righteous way. You have to be consenting. You have to know why you're doing to any and to anyone. I mean, how long does it take to get to anyone? What are the segments that are hotter? And doing that, you have more data, and I love data. When I noticed that being organized, methodic, we have more data. That's when I started really trying to be methodic and organized. It's not easy for someone to change habits, but that's something that I'm really trying to prove myself.
Fantastic. I love it. Okay, one more kind of fun question before we start to close this out.
It's not. It's all about fun until now.
It's all been fun in my opinion, but one more fun one.
Go on.
All right. Chico, what is something that you think people misunderstand about you when they first meet you?
They misunderstand about me. Good question, mate. Good question. Every time I went to bed, I have a lot of answers to this question. Now it's gets. I mean, they think I will say that they think I'm crazy, but it's not that I'm. The thing is, sometimes in our meetings, for example, uh, I do a kind of joke or say something weirdo, very weirdo, and they saying that that is too risky to say that. What I say to them is, I'm just trying to not connect with them. I'm just trying the other part to feel comfortable with me. I mean, as I'm saying, it's somehow like I saying, I'm telling you this my weak point, so you don't have any kind of not prejudice, but uh, any kind of anything. So nothing can stop you to say whatever you want. I mean, so I say first. You know what I mean? Okay, so let's start talking. Oh, wow, there's one time I was late for a meeting. My guys, my team was already keeping the meeting on, and when I get in, I say, "Hey, sorry for being late." And the other part says something. It didn't say anything, but says that, and I say, "Sorry, mate, but getting a shit is more important than talking to you." The guy started laughing, and my team said, "You're crazy, man." And I said, "No, it's true, guys. It's true. That's something about in praise of fools. It's true, guys. I see. It's not that I don't care about you. It's just I need to go to the toilet, man. It happens. Shit happens, guy. So this kind of things that I do, people misunderstand me, saying that sometimes people say, "Oh, you don't care about it. You are making fun of it." No, it's not fun of it. I'm just trying to be, equalizing the talking.
But it
It's
sounds
somehow weirdo. It's weirdo, but I said before that I'm weirdo.
absolutely. So it sounds like you're a genuine person, and people think you're joking.
Yeah, but if I say I'm a genuine person, they will say, "Oh, you think too much about yourself."
Well, I'll say it for you then.
Thank you, mate.
All right. So this has been a fantastic interview. Thank you so much. How do people find you? Where are you at on social media, your website, all of that, please?
All social medias is Chico Tattini, CHICOTATTINI. All social medias, LinkedIn, Twitter. And that's it. If you send me a private message, it depends wherever we're going. I can send you my email or phone, and we'll keep talking, man. It's a pleasure to talk. Anyone can write to me. I really like when people uh, write saying that, "Oh, I saw you're on blah blah blah," and I'm always replying. I can't promise to be very fast because there is a lot of things going on in our market nowadays. But I promise to reply as soon as possible.
All right. Fantastic, Chico. Now, as we wrap up, is there any final thoughts you want to share or anything I didn't ask you think we still need to cover?
Bradford, that's for you, man. I really like to thank you for the invitation. I'm really glad, really, really glad that I don't know how you get to me, but you got to me. That's fantastic. It's pushed me to try new levels of things. I mean, whoa! If Bradford finds me here, I'm the right. I'm doing something right. So let's keep doing. So let's work hard. So I can do more for esports because I have no I don't want you to get big. I mean, to get more important or something like that. If the esports scenario doesn't get more important as well, because I don't want to be all by myself, as a king or something like that. I prefer to be a plebeo as everybody else, man. I'm very, I'm very fond of esports scene. I'm 40. People receive me with open hearts. That's very, very, very important. And Bradford, thanks for finding me, man. That's one of the best podcasts I have. I have a lot of fun. And just to just to have a space that I can say that I'm weirdo without being weirdo, that's amazing, man.
Absolutely. You're very welcome. And let me say thank you so much. I do genuinely appreciate you coming on with me today. I know you're a busy person. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you, mate. I hope we have, well, and then for you, we have an open door now. We can please let's chat for other things, other videos. And I'm totally open for to hear you. And if I have something here, I will contact you for sure.
Absolutely. Thank you. Now, and for everybody else, I'm going to remind you all, don't be just a gamer, be a gamerpreneur.